Does your inner child need some wholeness remedies from your inner first aid kit? In these crazy times of outrageous disruption, the dismantling of normal, and all kinds of inner and outer challenges and destruction of the old ways, it can be pretty scary. And our inner vulnerable ones are getting really reactive. We need to support them with love and compassion, strength, and resiliency. In this video, I'll give you an overview of how to understand how to connect to your inner wholeness ally of the Nurturing Generative Adult, and I'll offer you an experiential guided imagery practice to connect with that nurturing ally inside yourself. Because the more you're resourced and connected and grounded, the more you're able to take care of all your young inner vulnerable ones. Hi, I'm Sheila Belanger, a strategic transformation coach. I designed this channel to give my people all kinds of resources with inner practices, journal prompts, encouragement, support, and telling it like it is, because inner edges are challenging and you need to be resourced and supported to be able to go forward with taking the risks to be a more radically authentic, loving, mature, compassionate person, because our world needs you, your family needs you, you need you. So take a look at this video and get supported. And if you like what I'm offering, subscribe to this channel. You'll be notified every time a new video comes up on Tuesdays. Enjoy the video.
Okay. Get support for your inner child. Get a wholeness remedy from your inner first aid kit. That's why you're here. Now, who's this inner first aid kit training for? I think you're ready to break free of painful inner child patterns. We all know what that's like when we get caught in deep overwhelm emotionally, or scared, or whatever it is that our young ones are suffering with. And it really can be painful. And I want to help you effectively navigate the edge of change between your outworn versions of self, caught in your inner child's pain, and who you long to be in these pivotal times. If you're like me, the last year, I have felt like I have to lean in. I have to do my inner healing work on a deeper level, because the world needs me to be present and available, not as a rescue operation, but as a human who is in touch with her multidimensional self and has the capacity to lean in and support what's going on right now. And I suspect most of you are feeling a similar way, because inner edges are so challenging. At these edges, you know that your old life and identities are over, but you don't yet know who you're becoming or where you're going. The ancient ones called this the betwixt and the between place. You're not this, you're not that. And it's a very fruitful and dangerous and challenging place, that edge place. Now, that's what I specialize in. I'm a strategic transformation coach. I'm Sheila Belanger. And as a certified coach, I use a process-oriented approach to guide you at the edge, the place where your past and future selves meet. For over 36 years, I've effectively translated mindset shifting practices into life-changing experiences for very, very content clients and students. And I love this, because you need support at the edge to follow through with the transformation that's calling you. You know, at edge changes, your inner child can get scared and really need some loving support. We all know what that feels like when it's just, you can feel the vulnerable young ones right there. And when you're at the edge of inner changes, your inner child's pain can stop you from moving forward. Yeah, it can be so painful. You need a map to help you navigate unfamiliar inner territories so that you can comfort your inner child and be free to move forward, because you'll be grounded and therefore you're more available to comfort your inner child and be able to go forward in your life. So here's the map I'm offering you, the Transformation Journey Roadmap, my signature roadmap. It's a guide to navigate your edges of change. There are 6 stages with it, and you often go in the flow around the wheel, but not necessarily. You might find one stage really calls you, you stay there, you hop to another. It's a way to support you to really work through your journey at the edges so you successfully navigate into the one that you're becoming. And the different stages have different focuses. Stage 1, you track your inner figures. You got to know who's up and holding a hostage first. Stage 2, you make attitude adjustments. Mindset is everything, people. You know that. Stage 3, you gather your allies. We're working with stage 3 in this training today. Stage 4, use maps to navigate edges. There's some very powerful developmental maps that I work with in stage 4 to help you. In stage 5, you steward your sensitivity. Most of us are intuitive, heartful, highly sensitive beings, and we can get so overwhelmed. So there's lots of practices you can use to steward your sensitivity. And then stage 6 is an ongoing apprenticeship to your inner visionary, that deeply intuitive, sensitive, powerful one in you. So that's the transformation journey roadmap in a brief way. You can get more information on it in my YouTube channel. The Transformation Journey Roadmap is the name of the channel, and this particular video, Get a Transformation Roadmap, is available. It will give you an overview of this roadmap. Now, you also need an inner first aid kit to help remedy your inner child's fear and anxiety. Because in stage 3 of the roadmap, you gather your allies, and this is where you cultivate sustainable relationships with inner and outer allies. You know, you're so much more than you think you are, so much more. We forget that when we're caught in overwhelm or fear. You know, you carry many, many selves within you. Rumi has a beautiful poem about the guest house. Yeah. Okay. Now, these inner selves are various parts of your personality. You have wholeness as well as wounded inner figures. We all do. Your dominant wounded inner figures often habitual and rooted in your adaptive childhood survival strategies. It doesn't matter what culture you come from, this might be familiar to you. And it's not about blaming parents or caregivers. It's partly what happens when we get enculturated. We are invited to adapt. You had to make choices to move away from your innate true nature to survive and fit into cultural and family systems, to be the good child, the good girl, the good boy. You may have experienced that parts of you were not welcome and that you didn't belong. Some of your vulnerable young inner figures got scared that they would be exiled and not survived, and not survive. As a way to survive, they often freeze up and disassociate. It's a very potent image, but it's, to me, what happens inside me, and I suspect for many of you, you just get frozen and check out. However, you're not a child anymore. You're an adult. You're a multidimensional being with wisdom and capacities much greater than your vulnerable young ones have, because they're frozen in a certain young age. They belong to you, they're beautiful, and they can get really activated and in pain. You can successfully navigate the difficult places and situations that you couldn't do as a child unless you've experienced unhealed trauma. And if so, it's essential to get external support to heal with a therapist, a counselor, a healer of some kind, because with unmetabolized trauma in our bodies, especially in our emotions, as we go to make changes, sometimes it can be too destabilizing for our system. And so it's really important to have an external ally to help you heal, do your inner healing work. So pay attention to that, especially as I'm giving you experiential exercises. If they don't feel right for you, please don't do them. I want to really empower you and not push you over the edge. That doesn't serve in any way. You can cultivate compassionate support for your vulnerable inner child by connecting to your inner wholeness allies who have access to your inner resources. It is your inner wholeness allies who can truly offer loving and healing support to your vulnerable young ones. Your wholeness allies can support your vulnerable inner child to know that they belong. There's a huge heart space for them, and they can be held and supported. Now, Bill Plotkin, he has his work called Wild Mind. I'll introduce that in a moment, but he has a beautiful quote. The key to healing and growing whole is not suppressing symptoms, eliminating wounds, or eradicating subpersonalities, but rather cultivating our wholeness. For most of us, sometimes when our inner child gets in pain or frightened or scared, we get so frustrated. Sometimes we just want to ditch the inner child, and that's not helpful because then we're abandoning ourselves essentially. And I love Bill's proposal, which is don't look at what's wrong or wounded, look at your wholeness, cultivate your wholeness. Now, in his book, The Wild Mind, A Field Guide to the Human Psyche, he gives you a map. And the Wild Mind map of the human psyche recognizes four major wholeness allies, each connected to one of the four directions. Now, in ancient times, until this moment too, the four directions are associated with the four seasons and the four key times of day. So the four cardinal points have a link with each of the seasons. For example, the east is connected to spring and sunrise. Okay, the times of day and the seasons for each direction. The south to summer and midday. The west to autumn and sunset. And the north to winter and midnight. Now, you are nature and the four directions. It's not an external compass out in the world, it's inside you. You have an inner east, an inner south, an inner west, and an inner north. These are wholeness allies we all carry. The challenge is most of us haven't learned how to cultivate them and activate them as inner resources for ourselves. Now we're going to focus on the north in this experiential practice today. And so the north is connected to midnight and winter. The qualities associated with the north are those seasons and that time of day: wisdom and fortitude and maturity and generativity, having authentic leadership. Just think about like our ancient ancestors, what they needed to make it through winter or what they needed to make it through the darkness of the night. And so these are human qualities associated with the north part of us. So the wholeness allies from Bill's book and his map are the innate psychological resources in an individual. We're going to talk about the North Wholeness Ally and an experiential practice to connect with this one of you. Bill calls this one the Nurturing and Generative Adult. I love that phrase because it's not just adulting, but it's nurturing, it's generative, it's life-giving. And this is the part of you that can genuinely nurture yourself, your inner figures, and others. And you can care for the environment, the earth, and you can carry forward the life-enhancing wisdom of your ancestors, no matter what your lineage is. It's like a beautiful teacher, Angela Sarian, a deep beloved teacher of mine, used to say, bring forth the good, true, and beautiful of the ancestors. That's like the wisdom and the strength of the ancestors are present in your North Ally. So connecting with your nurturing generative adult is a way to access your inner resources of wholeness and support your inner child. So I'm going to offer you a guided imagery journey to connect with your nurturing generative adult. And what I invite you to do is just get really comfortable. Again, this is choice-based. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. It's probably going to take about 9 minutes. I'm going to watch this. So I want you to get really comfortable. And if you've never done a guided imagery before, don't be concerned about it. Just trust yourself. And at any time it's not working for you, you can just come out. Just open your eyes and come out. But do have your journal or a sketch pad nearby, because I'm going to give you some time after the journey to journal or just take some notes and kind of reflect on that. Okay. So I invite you to just begin, if you're sitting or standing, to just roll your shoulders in and breathe. Stretch a bit. Just stretch. Stretch your body. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. First breath in, take it all the way down to your feet, and then exhale. Next breath in, imagine the sky is coming into your body and expanding you. And then exhale. And third deep breath in, imagine it comes right into your heart and centers you and grounds you. And then let go. Set an intention to connect and meet your nurturing generative adult in this guided imagery journey. It's closed-eyed, and I'll be prompting you as we go. And I want to say, trust whatever happens, even if nothing seems to be happening, because just by setting the intent that you want to connect with your nurturing generative adult, that's a powerful intention in your unconscious. So trust whatever happens. You can't do this wrong. Okay? So, invite you to take another deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine you go through your heart and come into a landscape in nature that is beautiful and nurturing. Just have your eyes closed and go through your heart. And wherever you land is the right place to be, including nothing. Just trust nothing. Take some nice deep breaths and just let yourself notice what you perceive. Your eyes are closed. You might see something like a landscape with different parts of nature. You might hear something like the wind or the sea or birdsong or nothing. You might tactically sense something, like you might feel something on your skin, like a soft breeze or perceived temperature. Or none of this might be happening. That's fine. Just let yourself kind of take in where you've arrived and recognize this as a really deeply nurturing place. And as you are here, notice that there's a tree in this landscape of some kind. Even if you're in a desert or in an unusual landscape, there would be a tree here for you, and it's beckoning towards you. And it's a tree that really allures you. Could be any kind of tree. Just notice a tree that is calling to you. And if no tree shows up, just keep setting the intention to meet with your generative adult. If you notice a tree, let yourself come towards it. Greet it and thank it for showing up. And then if it feels okay with you and the tree, let yourself sit at the base of the tree with your back against the tree and allow yourself to be held by this wonderful tree. And notice as you lean back and the solidness of the tree and that sense of being tactily held by the tree. Just let your shoulders drop and relax and just lean on the tree and be held. And as you're with the tree, bring to your heart an awareness of one of your inner children that maybe needs some special support right now. Might have recently been triggered or activated, or just you know that one is there. Don't let your mind figure it out. Just touch your heart. You'll know at least one of your inner children, maybe more. Bring them into your heart right now and hold them. Hold them deeply and feel yourself as the tree holding your inner child. And feel how rooted you are on the earth and how held you are as you are holding your inner child, your young ones. Just send to them with gesture. Your eyes are closed, but hold them, send them love. Let them feel the rootedness and groundedness of you with this tree. It's like you are the tree. The tree is there and you are a tree in a way. Generative, nurturing being for your young one. And just spend some time being with your inner child as a grounding, rooted, nurturing presence. And let whatever's going to happen between you and your inner child happen. There might be conversation, there might be just feeling. Just hold it and continue to be with it and breathe. You might ask if your inner child needs anything from you. And let your inner child know that you're here for them. You might find a gesture that happens in your body, whether you're hugging yourself or you're touching your heart, or some gesture that is a deeply nurturing gesture that's a signal to your inner child, I got you. I'm here for you. Just let that happen spontaneously so you and your inner child feel that connection and that deep support and love. And then let your inner child know that we're going to complete this journey for now, but you can always go right back to that nurturing gesture and just reassure your inner child, I'm here. You be that nurturing adult, that generative, strong tree. Okay. So, still with eyes closed, take a breath and really feel your inner child melting into your heart to be held there. And in your journey, let yourself step away from the tree. And you might take a moment to bow or make a gesture of gratitude to the tree for its sacred presence of support. You can always come back to this tree for your own support. And also thank the landscape that welcomed you. And now take a deep breath. And as you exhale, imagine coming back through your heart to the place you began this journey. And let yourself gently come back, breathing. It can be helpful sometimes just to open and close your eyes to kind of modulate coming back into regular reality. And now take a little bit of time to journal or reflect or sketch in your art journal and really let yourself bring back the essence of the journey to support you. Remember to push the button. So, inner child remedy number one, connect with your nurturing generative adult wholeness ally. It's part of your inner first aid kit as an inner child remedy. Connect with a wholeness ally. Now, you have this replay or this video that you're getting, and so there's a guided journey there. You also have two videos on my Transformation Journey Roadmap YouTube channel. One of them is a North Wholeness Ally, similar to this one, but slightly different. In this, it's Connect with Your Inner Wholeness. So make a note of that. You go and look at that video. You'll get another journey to your whole North Wholeness Ally, your Nurturing Generative Adult. And then also there's one for the South Wholeness Ally, which I didn't bring into this training, but it's a beautiful ally to help you be embodied and belonging to your life. Embodied belonging to your life, I call this video. And it's also on the YouTube channel, Transformation Journey Roadmap. Look for that one 2 more times that you can get support for actively connecting your inner child to a wholeness ally. Childinsider.com says, here's one tip about growing up. Be the person that your younger self needed you to be, childlikeness and all.
Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, check out these other videos. And don't forget to subscribe. Tap the subscribe button so you'll be notified when new videos are up every Tuesday. And thanks so much for watching.